Taipo fire investigation will not be turned into inquiry commission. Keir Starmer steps down as UK Prime Minister. And mediators say US-Iran talks see encouraging progress. Good evening and thank you for joining us. The independent committee investigating the Wang Fuk Court fire in Taipo held its fifth round of hearings on Monday. This as committee chairman David Locke suggested against the adoption of statutory powers by investigative panel after careful consideration, adding that the final statements are set to be heard by the middle of next month. Timothy Lee reports.
The latest round of hearings took place at the City Gallery in Central, with committee chairman David Locke being the first to give a statement. He said he believes it is the right time to continue the hearings, after having received the final cross-departmental investigative report more than a month ago, in addition to the recent operations conducted by the police and the ICAC. The committee aims to deliver its report within 9 months so that the public can finally get to the long-awaited answers behind the Wang Fuk Court tragedy. Locke added that many renovations around the city have been halted, awaiting the committee's report, adding that he decided not to transform the panel into a statutory body after careful consideration. The committee chairman stressed that witnesses cannot be forced to cooperate with the panel, even if it is transformed into a statutory commission, highlighting how several people failed to turn up in the previous hearings. He said if the committee becomes a statutory commission, the duration of the entire process could be doubled, as witnesses may need additional time to prepare their statements, with the final report estimated to only be completed by the end of 2027. Locke further noted how the current format allows for more freedom for commentaries by media, witnesses, as well as members of the community, given a strict judicial process will place greater limitations on relevant reports. Meanwhile, the cross-departmental report on the fire found that much of the protective material used within Wang Fuk Court were not fire-resistant. A government chemist involved in the testing of the protective materials indicated that much of the fabric and styrofoam in the housing complex were easily flammable, and pointed to the patios outside Units 104 and 105 in Wangsheng House being the source of the fire. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Chief Executive John Lee is visiting Fujian to attend high-level meetings at the 5th Fujian-Hong Kong Cooperation Conference. The city leader reached the conference venue in the afternoon received by local officials. Both sides discussed finance, shipping, and innovative technology, among other areas, and signed cooperation memoranda. The arrangements include helping more Fujian enterprises list and issue bonds in Hong Kong, leveraging Hong Kong's professional services, and organizing sharings in Hong Kong to help quality mainland enterprises to go global. John Lee will return to Hong Kong on Wednesday. Hong Kong's current administration is approaching its 4th anniversary in office. Financial Secretary Paul Chan says over the past few years, Hong Kong's global competitiveness has strengthened significantly, while expressing confidence that the government's operating accounts will stay in the green in fiscal year 26-27, with resilient export figures and steadily improving consumer spending in Q2. As the administration steps into the final year of their tenure with the imminent rollout of the city's first 5-year plan, Financial Secretary Paul Chan spoke with the press about recent international recognition of the city's competitiveness. This as Hong Kong has overtaken Switzerland to be crowned as the world's largest cross-border wealth management hub and climbed global competitiveness ranking for 3 consecutive years, reaching 2nd place worldwide. In Q1 this year, Hong Kong logged the strongest economic growth in nearly 5 years. The finance chief says he remains cautiously optimistic towards Q2 amid headwinds from geopolitical tensions and oil prices. But with the SpaceX IPO restrictions on Hong Kong, how can the city prevent further decoupling from the Western markets and minimize fallouts on the city's economy over the long term? Chan says there's a gap between politics and business sentiments between the two sides, and he's confident that capital continues to flow from international markets.
Given the geopolitics, there are ups and downs in the market. Every market has its own cycle. If we have good companies coming here for listing, capital will follow. When we take a look of the few major IPO last year in Hong Kong, many of the cornerstone investors are indeed US and European investors. There is certain gap between the political sector and the business sector, finance sector. For us, it is continue to engage the finance and the business sector to keep them fully informed of the development and progress here. These are the people best placed to make the business investment decisions. In terms of government fiscal situation, I'm confident 26, 27, we will continue to register operating surplus.
But for the coffer's capital accounts, because of the $120 billion annual investment earmarked for the northern metropolis, and as land sales revenue won't be generated that soon, Paul Chan says that might hamstring income, but it will be balanced by bond issuances. The finance chief also echoed what Morgan Stanley earlier said. Market worries from mainland oversight on brokerages in Hong Kong are apparently overdone.
Action of the CSRC with regard to those funds coming to Hong Kong through irregular channels, the impact is short-term. It is very clear to us that the central government is very supportive of Hong Kong and want to see Hong Kong succeed as an international financial center. And there are legitimate schemes, for example, connect schemes with the mainland, to have this capital to come to Hong Kong in the proper channel.
He notes Greater Bay Area investors can now invest in Hong Kong financial products through Connect schemes, also revealing that discussions with mainland authorities are progressing well on measures to relax investor eligibility requirements, broaden product offerings, and raise individual investment quota. Financial Secretary Paul Chan also spoke with us about the city's AI strategy. As AI has become a national development priority, Hong Kong is positioning itself to ride that wave, with businesses encouraged to embrace AI to boost productivity and improve services. Chan also said the key is not just understanding AI, but also learning how to use it well for workers and companies alike to leverage new growth opportunities and stay ahead of the curve. Jackie Lin, TVB News. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer resigned on Monday, paving the way for Britain to have its seventh leader in just over a decade. The threat to Starmer had increased sharply on Friday when Andy Burnham, the Greater Manchester mayor, decisively won a parliamentary election to return to Westminster. Burnham defeated a candidate from Nigel Farage's right-wing Reform UK party, which has led national opinion polls for more than a year. Daniel Rao has details.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced his resignation on Monday, less than 2 years after he won a landslide election victory that promised to end chaos in British politics.
Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess. In the case of a contest, this will ensure a new leader is in place before Parliament returns in September. I will remain in post as Prime Minister until the contest is complete, and I will do everything I can to ensure an orderly handover of power.
The threat to Starmer, which had been building for months, increased sharply on Friday when Andy Burnham, the Greater Manchester mayor, decisively won a parliamentary election to return to Westminster. Burnham defeated a candidate from Nigel Farage's right-wing Reform UK party, which has led national opinion polls for more than a year. That victory gave hope to Labour lawmakers that Burnham, a career politician known for his communication skills, could transform the fortunes of a party that has lost support under Starmer, whose popularity ratings have sunk to the lowest for any British leader. Despite the attempt at a smooth handover, the change is not without risk. Beyond saying that the country needs fundamental change and to bring down the cost of living, Burnham has yet to make clear his approach to foreign affairs, the economy and defence. Like Starmer, he could find he has little room to manoeuvre, hemmed in by bond market investors opposed to any additional borrowing and confronted by an angry electorate which believes the country is not working properly. Britain already has the highest borrowing costs in the group of 7 wealthy nations due to its high debt and interest payments, years of anemic economic growth, its struggles to cut spending, and the need to invest in areas like defence. Whoever replaces Starmer will become Britain's 7th Prime Minister since the Brexit vote to leave the European Union, which took place 10 years ago this week. That level of turnover, the highest in the UK in nearly 2 centuries, underlines the struggle of maintaining the support of voters, anger at successive failures to improve living standards, public services, and tackle illegal immigration. Dan Earl, TVB News.
Welcome back. A punishing heat wave continues to sweep across much of Europe, prompting a partial alcohol ban in France, nationwide warnings in Germany, and the closure of a soccer fan zone in Spain, as temperatures climb towards record levels. Temperatures peaked at 39 degrees Celsius in inland areas, according to weather forecasts from the Italian Air Force. Tracy Furness has more.
Tourists gathered around Fontaine de Mer on Concorde Square in Paris Sunday, trying their best to cool off. Others gathered to fill their water bottles. In the park in front of the city's town hall, people clad in swimwear stood under a fountain to try to cool down. And at the Canal Saint-Martin bridge, some young people jumped off into the canal below.
I have friends in Paris and I was asking them about, is there anywhere to swim and cool off? And they said, my friend who lives here said there's no way she's going to be swimming in here because it's so dirty, but it's hot. I'm going to risk it. But yeah, I saw last night on Instagram friends jumping off the bridge.
No respite in Spain's capital Madrid as temperatures ranged from 37 degrees up. This as large parts of the country are on alert as temperatures are expected to hover around 40 degrees Celsius. People in Madrid sought shade, cold drinks and ice cream to keep cool. This student said that she was going to places with air conditioning, staying in the shade and drinking water as well as wetting her hair all the time.
Madrid today is very, very hot. It's almost 40 degrees, but it's beautiful. So just come to Madrid and it doesn't matter about the hot weather.
The heat wave is expected to scorch Spain at least through Wednesday. Hot weather alerts are also expected in the interior of Basque Country, a northern region that typically experiences cooler temperatures. More than 200,000 people across Europe died from heat-related causes over the last 4 years, and most fatalities were preventable, the World Health Organization's Europe office said this month. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
2 people opened fire in a high school in central Philippines on Monday, killing 3 students and wounding another 5 others. The fatal shooting took place at San Jose National High School in Tacloban City. The 2 suspected shooters were armed with pistols and were eventually taken into custody. They are said to be 14 and 15 years of age. One is identified as a student at the school. Police investigators are still trying to determine what sparked the shooting in the school with more than 1,500 students. School shootings are relatively rare in the Philippines. The government held consultation meetings for the 5-year plan, having invited representatives from chambers of commerce. Some chambers hope the government could set clear, quantifiable targets for the northern metropolis development and assist SMEs to go global. For the city's inaugural 5-year plan, the government has invited multiple chambers of commerce to attend the consultation session at the government headquarters. Attendees include Andrew Yao, Vice Chairman of the Chinese General Chamber of Commerce, Peter Shum, Deputy Chairman of the Federation of Hong Kong Industries, and Simon Wang, President of the Hong Kong Federation of Restaurants. The meeting was hosted by Financial Secretary Paul Chan and Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Algernon Yao, and attended by Deputy Financial Secretary Michael Wong. The consultation period will run for 2 months until August 14th. The government will also hold a series of consultation sessions during the period.
During infrastructure spending, we got to be attracting industry. If we look at our own country's Beijing's 15 5-year plan, there are 109 different sector investment that are close to $1 trillion. We should be helping those companies go global through Hong Kong. so that we can have a new product, new service, and new employment.
Regarding the development of the Northern Metropolis, the Chamber will advocate the governments to have a holistic and a strategic KPI to oversee the development of the Northern Metropolis. And also we think that the infrastructure is very important, especially on the data center and the computing center. So this must be given the priority.
Apart from just the R&D, we also need a lot of technicians. We also need to train up local students to prepare for the future.
Pui Kwan-kay, president of the Hong Kong Chinese Importers and Exporters Association, hopes policy directions could be pragmatic and strategic within the macro blueprint, targeting the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Uzbekistan. The Faculty of Medicine of the Chinese University of Hong Kong has found a new method to treat glaucoma in mice that could restore nearly 70% of their vision. Clinical trials are planned within 5 to 7 years. Hong Kong has about 120,000 glaucoma patients. 1 in 7 patients eventually go blind. The current treatment mainly targets lowering intraocular pressure to slow vision loss, but it cannot reverse vision. The COHK team found that inhibiting a protein in ocular tissue can increase retinal nerve cell survival and ultimately restores damaged visual function. Last year, an earthquake struck the Tingri County in Xizang, also known as Tibet. Affected residents were arranged to move into new homes free of charge. Some beneficiaries said their living conditions have improved compared with before, while government officials expressed hope that post-disaster reconstruction would serve as an opportunity to diversify residents' income channels. Samantha Low reports from Xizang.
The earthquake that struck Tingri County in January 2025 claimed 126 lives. Sanga village in Changshuo Township was one of the hardest hit areas. Sang Jie, 24, works as a cook at a primary school. When the earthquake struck, she was not at home, only learning about the damage through a call from her sister. To accommodate the displaced residents, the authorities arranged for all affected people to move into new houses free of charge. And property ownership certificates for the homes have already been issued. Sang Jie moved into this house in August last year, and basic infrastructure like water and electricity in the area were fully repaired by October. She says that she could not have imagined that she could move into the new house so quickly after the disaster. The difference between her old and current house is big in every aspect. The authorities allocated houses of different sizes to each affected family based on the number of people in the household. For Sang Jie's family of 6, they were allocated this 160 square meter house. An official in charge of the reconstruction project says he hopes to utilize the opportunity of post-disaster reconstruction to open up more ways for villagers to increase their income. He says they are improving various supporting facilities, especially high-standard agricultural construction, to accelerate the people's path to prosperity. He adds that they would also like to take advantage of being close to Mount Everest or Zhumu Langma Feng to develop the tourism industry. He mentions that the government supports villagers in setting up their own small businesses. Some of the newly built houses have side doors to make it convenient for villagers to use their homes as shops. Samantha Low, TVB News, Xizang.
And that's the news. Thank you for watching.